Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello.
Up, brother?
Hey, episode
How are
number
you?
19. Tim,
It's
you
here.
excited for this one, buddy?
I
Number
am.
19.
19, almost 20. All right, we're not going to waste anybody's time here. Tim, introduce the guest, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are joined by Planet Eclipse's head designer. Tonight we're going to be talking about things such as the Geo4, the LV 1.6, and the CS2 Pro, and a few other things. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the one and only Jack Wood. How you doing, Jack?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
Good.
You guys okay?
Oh, I'm great, brother. I am great.
Good.
It's Sunday.
Chris?
It's Sunday. The
Yeah,
world
Sunday.
is doing fine. The world
Yeah,
is
and
doing fine.
you're keeping me out of bed as well.
Sorry. I know.
I know. Thank you very much for pulling this show early, pulling it forward for me.
No problem.
Yeah, anytime.
Our people got nothing else to do these days. Everybody's at home. You know what I mean?
I know. Stuck inside.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody's stuck
Yeah, little
inside.
face masks on.
Yeah.
So hey, why not
Those
sit
don't
down and
work.
watch? Why not watch the Frontline Paintball podcast, right?
Why
There you
not?
There you go. We're
Yeah.
doing it for you guys. We're sacrificing for you
Yeah.
guys. So you're welcome, everybody. You guys had a good time at Paintball Extravaganza, right? Couple
We
of new
did.
markers released. Everybody's talking about them. I
Yeah.
can't. A lot of people are, got divorced, broke up with a girlfriend because of you. Because you made the Geo4, you made the CS2, you made, the LV 1.6.
Yep.
You wrecked a lot of homes, sir.
Yeah. We had a great show. We never intentionally want to wreck people's lives, but we need to eat.
Maybe
Yeah,
we can consider it. Maybe we can say you're bettering some lives with some of the stuff that you've created.
Definitely. We're
Right?
always trying to do that. Always trying to make paintball better for everybody.
Definitely.
Yeah.
One of the markers that I am really, really excited about. Like, I really, really want this marker. All right. It's this beautiful bad boy right here, the Geo4.
What's that? That looks familiar.
Yes, it does. By the way, this is my favorite color. I love this color.
Yeah.
Jack, tell us more about this marker. What the difference between the Geo4 and the Geo 3.5, the Geo 3.1,
And the CS1 and the CS1.
Yeah.
So obviously, most of our platforms we'd gone to pretty much gamma core for everything.
Yeah.
So we've got the GP core in our high end CS2, and then we've got the gamma core in pretty much everything else. And we had a lot of feedback from players saying they really, really enjoyed the way that the Geo used to shoot and the CS1 used to shoot. So what we've done is taken all the best bits of the CS1 and the CS2, mash them together and put them into something that feels like a modernized version of the Geo 3.5.
Is it the same frame as the CS1?
No.
It looks very
So the frame is the main difference. It's if you put the two side by side, you'll see that there are very different angles. So particularly at the back of the grip, where you hold it with your back hand, the angle is it's like a steeper, a shallower angle on the CS1. And we've made it more vertical on the Geo4, which makes it feel just like the same stance as a Geo 3.
Yeah.
Now, does that help with less strain on your wrist as well?
Well, it's one of those things because when we did the CS1, we went from the Geo 3.5, and then we renamed it the CS1 because we changed so much stuff on it. We took the AT pipe off it, completely changed all the electronics, the regulator, made it hoseless, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So we called it the CS1 instead of calling it a Geo4 at that point because we thought it was a whole new gun. And we made that with fatter grip. So a lot of people couldn't understand why we made it with a really fat grip when it came out and with this strange angle. And that's because we went through loads of different iterations of the design, and we thought that that's what felt best and most natural.
The battery is in the grip, right?
Pardon?
The battery is in the grip.
The battery's in the foregrip.
It's in the foregrip, yeah.
Yeah. So we thought with this angle and that fatness of rear grip, that's the most natural feeling to it. But I think because it was so different to what everybody else had been used to, there were a lot of people said they didn't like it. So then on the CS2, we changed the angle and we changed the thickness of the grip. So we went to a much thinner grip. And then we've moved most of that over from the CS2 into the Geo4 now, reconfigured it, and then spaced it all out so it's almost identical spacing to the old Geo3.
It looks amazing. This is my ugly face with my Geo last year. This is a Geo 3.1, to be honest.
Yeah,
it wasn't 3.5, but I love the thing. I love the ergonomics. It shoots amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody upgrade to IV core, like, dude, it's fine. It works great, and I love it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for the LV 1.6. I made a post a couple of weeks ago, like, hey guys, which one should I buy? And everybody's like, 1.6, 1.6. But there's a rivalry between the Geo 4 and the LV 1.6. So before we talk about the 1.6, why is there a rivalry?
Well, so that started, the rivalry thing started when we launched the original Geo. So obviously we'd had the Ego for a few years, and it was selling really well, but there was an obvious swing in the market that more and more people wanted a single tube design gun. They didn't want a stack tube poppet. They wanted a single tube spool valve based gun. So we came up with the Geo. And then we had two platforms, and we didn't know whether the Geo would kill the Ego or people would stick with the Ego and not bother with the Geo. So what we did is we launched them both at the same time. With that year, we launched them both at World Cup. They were the same price, had almost the same specification, all the same kit it came with, and the same price. And we just internally were saying, right, well, we'll just make them both the same, and then people can choose, and they just fight it out. And whichever one wins, we'll drop the one that nobody wants, and we'll just make the one. But obviously, they both stayed successful.
They both won. I just like the Geo just for the ergonomics of it. That's about it. I think they both perform really nice. We have a question from Nick. He's asking, of course, the coronavirus affect the shipping dates for both Geo 4 or the 1.6?
Well, if you'd asked me on Friday, I would have said no. But this thing's changing so rapidly. I know that today or yesterday, obviously the US has stopped transport from the UK now. They had to close. They had to close the borders to Europe last week, but UK and Ireland was exempt as of I believe it's either Monday or Tuesday. I think it's Monday midnight. So Tuesday this week coming, there'll be no more passenger planes from UK.
Okay, but there's still cargo planes, right?
I don't know. That's unclear. I would imagine. I would imagine.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
everyone's praying, eh?
So I mean, just to fill you in on, if you want a bit more detail on that, or if you want to skip on.
No. Let's go into details.
Okay, so obviously some of our things that right. So when we make a product, any product, you can't sell a gun.
Yeah.
Unless you have every single component, you only have to be missing one screw and you can't sell it, right?
Then you can make it. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously some things we have made in China, like the packaging. So the packaging cases, they're made in China. So at one point when the outbreak started end of last year, we weren't sure whether that was going to affect us. As it turns out, pretty much China had it shut down for about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
They reopened at the beginning of March, and then they're back in full production pretty much. So nothing logistically at our end is holding anything up.
I'll tell you one thing: people don't care. You can bring those markers with bags, and I don't care.
Just in a plastic bag.
in a garbage bag, I'll take it.
We have a question here too from Christopher Struck. He's saying, why was the at pipe left on the LV 1.6? Why not make it hoseless as well? Yeah.
Because it would cost too much money.
Yeah.
There we have it.
Yeah. So people, we get it all the time. You know, why don't you make an LV2, take the AT pipe off, make it hoseless, put the grips off a CS2 on it, and there you go, you've done it. How can it be that hard? Well, it is that hard. You can't do it. So.
It's an iconic look, and it doesn't really affect the ergonomics.
I never
thought about that one. Yeah.
No, it doesn't affect anything, but it's there because to redevelop the platform completely, just to remove that pipe, then becomes a completely new gun. So then you've got new foregrips, you've got new battery housing, you've got new electronics, you've got new grip tools, you've got new body. We've put a new solenoid in, but you're basically changing every single component on the gun. And just to give you some kind of idea, the toolings for just a set of set of grips, it's like $30,000 for a set of tooling just for the grips, and then obviously unit costs on top of that. When you out all the pieces that you have to make up, it's just not. There aren't enough sales in the LV platform. As passionate as people are about it, the reality is it doesn't sell as well as a Geo. So we're keeping the LV going, but we just can't do the whole revamp of it.
You guys upgraded the solenoid from the LV1 to the LV 1.6.
1.6.
Right? It's a different solenoid.
Yeah.
Is it more? I want to say reliable.
More reliable. Yeah. The reason we stopped the LV 1.5 was because of the solenoid.
Okay.
So it's simply by the time the guns left the factory and got into players' hands, they're fine. Yeah. The problem we were having was we had to like double and triple check every single solenoid that came into the building.
Why is that?
Because it's quite a high specification solenoid, and the people who made it, the solenoid company that manufactured it in the US for us, it was coming. They no longer manufactured a valve with those components in. Okay. In their main line, in their normal production. So we were having to make special batches of these solenoids for us.
Yeah.
And the quality just wasn't there because it's been taken off the main line. Then you're handballing everything. So
this is a comment from Luca here. He's saying best podcast around. I'm going to add a question mark to that. And the answer, Luca, yes, we are the best podcast around. All right.
Thanks, Luca. Will there be? Go ahead. Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Just quick question here from Patrick. He's asking about grips. So I know you guys have made grips in the past, and you've had thousands of them laying around. Nobody bought them. So
yes,
you guys making grips.
We were actually talking about that on Thursday last week. Yeah. Grips for older guns. Does it mean if it means old guns? Then no. The tools actually get scrapped after a number of years.
Oh, okay.
So then you have to make.
No, sorry.
You don't have to remake all the tooling. It's just there's no point. It's just not financially. If we did that, we'd just be out of business. Just making making tools, plastic tools that for half a dozen sets of grips.
Just for different colors.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Tim.
There was a question going on up here earlier. When will people be expecting the CS2 mech frame?
CS2 mech frame is in final field testing.
Okay.
So we've got probably close to 10 frames out there now, just in final testing. And I'm going to tweak a few little things with the new 3-way valve in there. And probably run one more set of sample parts for that, send out to the testers, they can install them, check they're fine and we're happy with those, and then go into production. But okay. I'm going to probably say about 3 months out.
3 months.
That's soon.
Okay. Yeah. Alex is saying that the solenoid for the 1.6 is rebuildable, so you can actually fix it if there's an issue, or
you can.
That saves a lot of money because those things are.
It does.
It costs a lot of money.
They're not cheap. No, that's that again. That was one of the reasons why we stopped at 1.5 because we're having such a high failure rate with the solenoids.
Yeah.
It was just becoming ridiculous. So we'd have to ship them back. They'd have to rebuild them, ship them back. We'd have to retest them, test them again. Yeah. Once we got good ones and built them into the guns, they were fine. But just actually we'd have like hundreds of guns sat there ready to build that we couldn't. Because going back to what I said before, because we were missing the solenoid. So,
right.
So, it's a huge hole in your cash flow at that point if you can't ship product because you're waiting for one part.
Okay. Chris is asking something about the GI Stealth. Is that a good marker to start out with?
Absolutely.
that was actually a question we wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
I do. I have it written right here. What would which marker would you suggest would be a good entry level for players that have for speedball? Players like myself, I've never played speedball before, or
it all depends. It all depends on your budget. But if it's something you just want to get something reasonable price just to try it out and see if you like it and enjoy it, then obviously you don't want to be spending thousands.
Right.
So I'd always go Ether 2 every single time.
Yeah.
I played full seasons with Ether 2.
And now why is that?
A mega gun.
Gamma core.
It's got the Gamma core in it. It's so reliable. It's literally bulletproof. We've shot them with shotguns and they're literally bulletproof.
Wow. You're serious right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's crazy. I'd like to see that. I'd love to go test the markers with you.
And it's just a great package. It shoots really nice.
Nice barrel.
You could literally, it comes with a 2-piece 14-inch barrel. Then you can upgrade that. You can buy different backs for it or different tips for it, do whatever you like. It's got a clamping feed. Yes, not the downside, but you only get it in a very limited number of colors, and it's mainly nylon composite, but it's
super durable.
So durable. It's got wraparound grips. It's hoseless. It's super efficient. Amazing on paint. It's really air efficient and really gentle on paint. You can shoot it in a tournament, no problem whatsoever.
It could be actually a practice marker too.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be your main marker. It's doing very well in like racquetball and bushball. I have a lot of guys in different fields here in Canada, and I'm sure in the US and all over the world they use Ether 2 for a lot of those games. Mud, rain, whatever it is, this marker lasts for a long time. It's very easy to maintain as well. I actually had shot the Ether 2 for a couple of games, and it's just really nice.
Yeah,
but
it is fantastic. So going back to the question about the stealth, by the way, so that's a gun that we made for GI. So that's actually a GTEC 160R with a few extra bits that the GI wanted, and their milling design on it. So it's a great gun.
You guys gonna do any more collaboration with GI or Christopher's?
Well, there's nothing in the pipeline at the moment.
Okay. We got Alex here telling you bravo and stuff. Alex is trying to be, he's trying to be your friend right now. He's trying to be a very gentle person. He got his picture in Cuba or Mexico or something, just showing off. Right, Alex.
What's he holding? Is he holding a bird?
He's holding a bird.
It looks like he's about to bite his face.
Oh, man.
Oh, sorry, the picture's really small in the corner. I can't see it very well.
That is the actual size of Alex, actually.
oh God, Chris, come on now.
Come on, man. You know me.
What? And he's holding a hummingbird.
I'm 35. I'm not gonna change. All right.
Now, Jack, you guys have you've designed autocockers and that in the past. Would there be any comeback of those?
No.
A lot of rumors, man.
Why not?
No, will not happen.
You know what?
Can you go into why not? Oh, he's saying never.
I'm saying never.
Can you go into why not?
Yeah, because I can't stand them.
Oh, you know what? I've shot autocockers. Okay, they're a pain, man. To time them and stuff, they're a pain. Yeah, it's a lot of
they're not. I just like to go forwards. I don't really do all the retro stuff.
Yeah.
Same with cars, like anything. I want the new thing and the next thing. I don't really
looking in.
I'm not looking.
It's all in the rear view to you.
Yeah.
Well,
it's all in the rear view.
Speaking of the future,
I was pushing forward.
You guys are pushing forward, but this is a question: why make a mechanical marker like the EMEK or the MG100? You know what I mean? Like you're doing so well with electronic, and all of a sudden, bam, you got the EMEK and the MG.
Well, a lot of that came. It was sort of a happy coincidence that the Gamma core works out to be to become a really good mechanical gun. So we never actually, the Gamma core was never designed to be a mechanical gun. After we designed it and developed that drivetrain and worked out that you could make it into a mechanical gun very simply, we did. we tested that first of all with the GMEK frame, and that had a really positive response. And then we did the EMEK, and we've been asked for years and years and years to do a field rental gun and a starter gun. And at that point, once we realized that with a mechanical version of the Ether 2, we could kill a lot of birds with one stone. We could cover the rental market, an entry-level mechanical gun, and it turns out and then it just turns out to be actually probably the bargain of the century. $220, $220 US. It's ridiculous what you get.
So I know like the rental marker for most fields in the world are usually the 98, like the Tippin 98, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of deals between Tippin and a lot of fields, maintenance and parts and all that. Is the EMEK heading that way? Is the EMEK going to be the new rental marker?
I'd like to think so, but the fields will decide that. So I mean, we've done a lot of units now into fields. We've got a lot of fields that would take 10, 20, 30 just to test them out, and then a couple of months later they come back and just switch out all the fleet. I've had some great fields that just from day one just said, yeah, we trust you guys, we'll just take whatever you've got, and they just switch their fleets out. Awesome. And then we do the 50 cal versions and 68 cals.
I was going to ask you about the 50 cal, but the feedback had to be positive from those fields, because you're using 98 versus like EMEK with Gamma Core. I mean, that first time playing paintball could be, you could have a very terrible experience using like a 98.
Yeah.
Mine was very bad, a lot of chopping, a lot of breaks. I couldn't hit anything. I was pretty bad in the beginning. Never mind. But with
you blame the gun. That's it. Chris, you blame the gun.
I always have excuses, man. I was tired. I'd eat my sandwich, had a terrible breakfast. They put too much sugar in my coffee. But I'm thinking like the EMEK with the Gamma Core, a very reliable marker, easy to maintain, and performance-wise, way better than 98. I think it comes down to the cost, right?
Yeah, because it's pretty much more than double the price of a 98.
Yeah,
for the fields to buy them.
Yeah,
so it's a big capital outlay for them. But the positive feedback is that on all the fields that switched over solely to our guns, they all come back within the first month and say their repeat business is up. The amount of paint that the players are shooting is up generally around about 30%. So they soon work out. They only have to run them for a couple of extra days, and they're paid for already. So
that's it.
Yeah,
they pay for themselves, right?
Yeah.
When you have a reliable marker like that, when you hit the field, especially for renters just coming out, getting new into the sport, you don't want to see them having jams, barrel chops, breaks, stuff like that. You get something like that in your hand, you're guaranteed probably to see them the next weekend on a walk-on game.
Yep, exactly.
Chris, I agree with you 100%. The first experience could mean that player is going to come back. He's going to become a paintballer, or if he had a terrible experience with a terrible marker, he's probably not going to come back. So I do agree with Chris.
And they tell their friends it's rubbish as well.
What's the maintenance like on that marker?
Most of the fields, all they do is just hose them out.
That's it, eh?
Yep.
That's it.
So normally they'll either take the loaders off, spray something inside the breech and swab it, or just rinse it with a hose pipe and hang it up to dry, and that's it.
Like to open 98, Tim, and Tim, you probably remember that. When you open like that metal frame and springs fly,
everything flies out.
Everything flies out. So if you're working at that field, you field owner, it's a pain to maintain, to clean it, right?
Yeah.
The EMEK,
that's time.
Just like the MG, you just have to unthread the Gamma Core. You pull it, remove the grease, put fresh grease. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all you got to do. So
most of the time, they're not even doing that.
Yeah,
they won't. Most fields won't re-grease anything until something stops working. So, and then a lot of the fields are going, we haven't touched our guns for months. They're just working. We haven't had to touch them, take them apart, do nothing to them.
I'm going to assume Arthur is a field owner here. He's saying my customers are extremely happy with EMEKs on my field. So, yeah.
It's good to hear.
Good to hear.
Thanks, Arthur.
Jack, what were you guys thinking jumping into the MagFed world, my man, with the MG100?
Yeah.
That guy right there.
Again, it's just another happy coincidence. So that came on from the EMEK. It then gave us the ability to do a MagFed gun.
Yeah. Can I ask you something? Why dye mags though?
Because they're the most reliable magazines.
Okay, and easy to maintain. But
Yeah, I mean, we tested loads of different magazines, and I don't know how many different types of magfed guns you've had, but some of the magazines are more complicated to take apart than our whole gun.
Yeah.
So I watched some of the instruction videos, and it was just like, oh my god, these magazines are so complicated. Imagine you get a break inside one, and you've got to spend like 20 minutes taking it apart, and little bits flying out everywhere.
Yeah.
So those dye mags are just super simple, super reliable. Yeah.
So just to show you guys, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, to clean this mag, all you have to do is just remove this piece of plastic here, and then you pull the spring out, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Now,
wow,
this one is upgraded with the Planet Eclipse spring.
Yeah. So we did. So we obviously worked that out quite early on, that we knew that the gun would work flawlessly. EMEKs have been out for 12 months or so. We knew that we weren't going to have any problem with the gamma core, the trigger mechanism, all of that side was sorted. We knew that all we had to do was get the magazines working correctly. So first of all, pick the most reliable magazine.
Yeah.
And then second, make that work as well as we possibly could. So got the dye mag, super simple, and then we just put our own followers and our own springs. The standard spring is just way too strong.
Yes, I agree with you on that one.
Most of the time, even if you go to like a halfway decent ball, not even like super fragile tournament ball,
puts a lot of pressure on
even just loading it into the gun. As soon as you stick the mag in the mag well and it releases, it would normally like 5 times out of 10 crack around in the stack.
And I like the follower that kind of jams the bolt and helps you.
Yeah, stops it cycling.
I like that.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius. I've heard a rumor that you guys are not going to make the continuous mags.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so that's actually happening.
Yes, 100%.
100%. And no issues. It feeds pretty good round ball and first strikes.
Yes, it does now.
It does that. Oh, I guess we know what the problem is before. All right. So the question is, are they compatible with the die dam?
Yes, they are.
So they will work die dam, first strikes, and round ball.
Yes.
When can we expect
a lot of birds with a stone there, eh?
I know. When can we expect the MG100? Yeah, you got it, Tim. I know what you mean. You know what? Planet Eclipse is helping die out by a bunch of mags. Now it's gonna. Anyways, that was a little jab.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, 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 ding. Are we expecting the new magazine this season?
Oh yes, yeah, definitely.
Oh,
yeah, So there's the time set. So the time scale we're on now. We've got 20 or 30 magazines out there now being used. Lead's actually played 2-day event in the UK this weekend. So he played Saturday, Sunday this weekend. I spoke to him on his way back from the field earlier today. He said it was fantastic. Said it changed the playing experience for him, having the 20-round continuous magazines.
I bet.
He said overall worked perfectly. A couple of little things he wants to tweak. Because I don't know if you've seen the design. It has a door on the side that comes off, and you load the rounds from the side.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you pull the spring, it locks, right? And then you put the rounds in.
So you leave the door on. It has a winder. So you wind it up, pulls the cut round, pulls the spring round, and the follower.
Yeah.
Unlock the door. You twist a little key at the bottom. Well, it's like a big latch thing. Twist it. Open the door. Paintballs, just drop them in, dump them like that. Wipe the ones off the top, and it's full. Put the door back on, and you're good to go. First strikes, it means you can actually place them in, so you line them down on the side in the channel, so you can make sure they're all perfectly sat. You're not dropping them in and hoping that they go down straight and they don't get kinked or twisted or flipped in the actual channel. So you can place them all the first strikes in perfectly, stick the door back on, and you're good to go.
Big shout out to Leds, by the way. Super hardworking guy. Hopefully he had a good time with those mags, and I can't really see those mags in my hand.
Yeah, so you're going to get some of the first ones in a couple of weeks' time. So where we're up to, we've had some prototype ones. So we've obviously, I think we're like on about the 4th revision of the prototype ones. We did have quite a few niggles trying to get everything perfect, because you know what we're like. We're not going to release something half-assed, so it had to be as close to perfect as possible.
You guys have a good reputation, so
yeah, we want to keep that as well. So we're not too shy about holding something back to make sure it's right.
Yeah,
not stupid.
I think Himanshu was asking, can we get a full auto MG100?
Not at the moment.
You greedy bastards. Because you know what? I was thinking. Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
No, I was just going to ask him if he's seen that. Is that coming in the future?
It's not on the drawing board.
Because I'm thinking, I mean,
it might do at some point. We'll just see how the whole MagFed thing goes for us. This is us dipping our toe in the water.
MG's doing well, though.
It's done very well. Yeah,
it's doing very well.
I hear it's the marker of the year.
It was.
Yeah, well, the first batch sold out quicker than we thought it would. So, pretty much we're out of stock pretty much everywhere at the moment on MGs.
Wow, good for you.
So, wait for the next batch to come through.
Sorry, guys, I'm trying to keep up with the comments. A lot of comments here.
Paul Riddick has a good one here. Any plans for different mag welds, adapters to be available so different mags can be used?
No.
Okay.
No. Again, that comes back down to round to the tooling costs. Basically, anything that involves making something in a molded plastic, you have to make sure you're going to be selling a
lot of it. Yeah.
Well, a lot of them to make them pay for themselves.
Because when you manufacture something, you have to have a minimum order, which is
it's not about having a minimum order. It's that so if you, let's put it this way. So if you did say a new magwell, I'll use 30 grand because that's how much these things cost. So if you can do some math, say you've spent $30,000 on a new mold tool for a new magwell, and then you only sell 100. How much does each one of those 100 magwells cost you?
Yeah, it costs quite a bit.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Just like another good question from Trevor. With the success of the MG100, is there any?
Oh, sorry. Well, can you just rewind a little bit?
All right, go ahead.
So the other reason why it's just a flat no is because the great way the MG is designed, as you know, most of it's just clamshell composite. So much 3D printing stuff out there now.
Yeah, we talked about
that. There's loads of people. There's loads of people that have already done different magwells.
I saw an Uzi the other day. It's super nice. But like I said, I think you guys designed the marker in a very different way than all the other MagFed markers, and we talked about this off the air, where you guys didn't go for that Milsim look, but you just focus on the performance of the marker.
Yeah, just function. Yeah.
Okay. I am not going to complain. It shoots really, really nice. And I'm very happy you guys are making the continuous mag because that was the one thing missing. And just to give you guys my personal opinion on the MG100, you don't need a full auto for the MG because it shoots really fast. And I'm making a video in a couple of weeks. It shoots so fast that sometimes I'm like, did I put 10 in that mag? Because when you flip it, I feel like I put 5. It shoots really fast because of the trigger and the gamma core. So you don't need a full auto kit for it. Trust me, guys. If you play MagFed, just play MagFed. It's not about full auto. If you want to shoot full auto, though, get yourself a GO4, an LV 1.6. I don't know. Pretend that the hopper is a magazine and have fun. We got a question from. Let's see here. Trevor is asking, with the success of the MG100, is there any future plans on another MagFed platform?
More like an MG200.
MG200.
Yeah. I mean, there's no plans, but it's definitely something we're considering.
Okay. Now, would you kind of keep it along the same platform? Would you switch it up a little bit?
Can't go into too much detail.
Okay.
We are looking at we're looking at various we're looking at various things. We're like I said, there's nothing on the drawing board. We're discussing a lot of things. Like I said, the MG100 was really just a tester for us.
If I could throw
just to test the waters, see if how big the market
if it's worth getting into.
Yeah, see if it's worth getting. See if it's an interest in our products in that marketplace. That's been answered. So.
What I would like to see is when Chris first got his MG100, we were looking at different styles have done theirs up, and I seen one, and I said to Chris, now that would be the MG100 I want, is the AK look.
You like the AK look?
Oh, that AK look is, and there's no like if you look at a lot of platforms that so many people have, like First Strike, Hitman, places like that, they all do the M4 look, right?
Yeah.
I would love to see, and I love my M4 look. Like, don't get me wrong, I love it. There's so much you could do to it. It's universal, right? But I would love to see somebody come out with an AK look. Maybe you guys.
There's a couple out there, aren't there? Some people have done bodies for them for the MG.
There's the MCS, I think, the RAV4. They had one. Not the best looking one, but it still has the holes on and the mags of my.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to talk much about it, but honestly, I see it as a positive. Having, for example, like the biggest thing in the MagFed world is why is the tank in the grip. They want to see that tank in the stock, right? Yeah. But honestly, I think it's a if you love MagFed, I think this marker is a great it's a great reason for speedballers to try MagFed because it's you got
exactly and on the MG100 owners group there was one of the MagFed Facebook groups, somebody put a poll up and it was like it must have been the MG100s. It's like have you ever played MagFed before, or are you new to MagFed and just bought an MG100 to try MagFed? And there was a lot of people who said, I've never played it, but because Planet are making this MagFed gun, I'm now going to buy one and go and try and play it. Yeah. And I think that's a big thing.
Well, okay, so that kind of was one of my question. What makes Planet Eclipse products so much better? I mean, I hate to say this, but you guys have a reputation in the market, performance and reliable. That's Planet Eclipse. That's why when the MG was launched, like, oh, dude, I got to get that. Why? It's Planet Eclipse. Yeah. So what sets you guys apart from other competition?
Well, you can use the MG as a perfect example. We won't make a compromise if it's going to jeopardize performance or reliability, serviceability or simplicity. So if we'd gone down and made an AK look MagFed gun, I wasn't happy that we could have made it as reliable as the MG100 is. So the trade-off was, okay, it can't look like a milsim gun. It's going to look like it, whatever it looks like coming out, looking like, but it will be the best MagFed gun. It's not a realistic one-to-one scale gun, but it will work and it will do the job it's designed to do, which is shoot paintballs and shoot First Strike better than any other MagFed gun out there.
And with all the 3D printers out there and people doing their own thing, they can make it look what they want.
Yep. I think it looks pretty sweet. I love that it's lightweight. I'll tell you guys what I think, because I was supposed to do a review and all that, but who am I kidding? You guys know what I think about the MG. I like that it's light. I like the GAM core. I like the on-and-off ASA. I like the clamping feedback that comes with it, and I love the power stock. So, and now you got the continuous mag. So that was my only thing. Like, I wish they had a continuous mag, and that is solved.
Now, why didn't you start with a continuous mag in the designing process?
Because it came along secondary. Because we wanted to get the gun out there. We want to get the gun out there with the proven die mags that we know worked with our springs and followers in. Again, we're reliable. So you get a reliable gun and a reliable existing magazine that people can get their hands on, upgrade them with our springs and followers, and they've got 100% bulletproof, nailed on gun that's just going to work every time they go and play.
Bulletproof.
And then when everybody's happy with that, we've proven the platform, proved the concept that it works, and then go and give them a magazine that they actually want to go with it next.
We have a question from Josh Stanley. He's
the bang switch,
the bang switch, and the Inception trigger for the MG.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, both good products. The obviously the bang switch, you do want to change the trigger.
What's a bang switch?
It's a shorter, longer. It shortens the trigger travel of an EMEK or an MG100.
Okay, I got you.
So it allows you to. So you don't have to pull the trigger so far to make it go bang.
A lot better.
not a real issue, but
No?
it's a good upgrade. No, I've
No,
never.
I mean,
I'm
it's
not very sensitive
if
about the
I
triggers.
was going to have one or the other, I'd have the trigger.
Yeah.
And if you're going to have the bang switch, you have to have the trigger because there's no way to limit the trigger travel without having an adjustable trigger.
I think Chris is replying to something I said. Speedball is trying MagFed. He's saying the opposite. MagFed is going to try Speedball. I think MagFed, Speedball, whatever you use, man, try both and enjoy both. That's what I do. But if you don't like Speedball, you don't like Speedball. If you prefer MagFed, then you prefer MagFed. So,
there's so many different ways of playing paintball, and I love all of them.
Don't limit yourself.
I play tournaments on Speedball. I play rep games. I play big games like Full de Gap down in North Carolina that I go to every year. I play MagFed. There's just so many ways to enjoy yourself. Just go and try them all.
Oh, Guillermo is here. Planet Eclipse planning on making a pump marker to complete the CCM and the Empire. He said no to autocockers. I think he's going to say hell no to pumps. Although we love pumps, Guillermo. You like that? I asked the question and answered.
Can you just see me shaking my head?
We are doing, guys, a show about retro autocockers and pump in the next couple of weeks. So
yeah, don't invite me on that.
And Jack is gonna
I think we're gonna have G on that. Maybe we should get G on there. We got Patrick coming back as a return guest on that show. That'll be.
And Jack is gonna be the co-host.
The shortest show ever.
We'll definitely have you in. We'll definitely have you in the chat here, letting us know your thoughts. That's for sure.
Talking about markers that you've tried, what's your favorite marker today? Like, what do you use if you want to play paintball today? Are you using the CS Pro or CS2 Pro, or what are you using?
I just use whatever I'm testing. So
he's dodging that one, Tim.
See,
so are you asking me what my favorite gun is, or are you asking me what I play with, or
both?
If you're sitting at home today and some of the guys at work called you up and said, "Come on, let's go hit the field, let's go play some ball," what would be the first thing that you would grab? You have all your markers sitting in front of you, ready to go.
Okay, so here's the problem. I don't have any.
Okay, you're at the shop.
I don't actually own any. I own 2 paintball guns. That's it.
You know what?
And what are they?
I had the limited edition ones, the matching pairs that we did for our 20th anniversary.
Okay,
so
which one would you use? GO4 or LV 1.6? See, I got the options here. The rivalry.
Whatever he's testing, Chris. Whatever he's testing.
I'd go and play a 2-day event, and I'd take both, and I'd use one on one day, one on the other day.
Smart answer. I like that.
All right. You know what?
Okay, so I played Full de Gap. I played Full de Gap in North Carolina last November. I took both guns and used both guns. Both fantastic.
So there's no go-to for you.
No, literally whatever there is. I played with a 160R for a couple of seasons. The one that I gave away on PB Nation at Christmas as like a Christmas giveaway to somebody who needed it in paintball. It was a cool little thing we did. So I had a 160R that had in a custom anno job, and I shot that for ages. I shot that even after we had like CS1 and CS2 came out. So.
They're asking me to ask you about the GO3 versus the LV1 debate. I guess it's the same as GO4 versus LV 1.6. They're very similar, right?
Yeah.
They're very similar in performance.
It's really just a spool valve versus a poppet. Single tube spool valve versus a stack tube poppet valve.
It's up to your personal preference. What do you?
Yeah, because they feel different. Some people like the visual feedback of having the bolt pin go backwards and forwards on top of the gun.
Yeah.
Some people don't. They don't want to be distracted by that. They'd rather just have a solid tube in front of them that no distractions. Whereas like the LV guys, I think they're like autococker guys. They like to see the bolt fly backwards. Yeah. It just reminds them it's working.
There's a question from Arthur here, and he's asking, "What are you testing now, Jack?"
Well, I can't tell you that.
Okay, that's another question.
There you go,
Arthur. Sean wants to know ship date about the LV 1.6. I want to know about the LV 1.6 ship date and the GO4.
GO4 is coming first.
Next
GO4 is coming first by a couple of weeks. Can't give you an exact date. I don't want to give an exact date now anyway, considering the news we just talked about the possible transatlantic shipping.
Yeah.
So obviously, all those guns are built in the UK, so they have to get from the UK to the US.
You guys will update
I know, for example, that the Geo4 is at the anodizer. I know that everything's ready there. All the packaging's arrived from China. Everything went to the anodizers. I think it's probably came back from the anodizers on Friday, so they're ready to build. I don't know what the exact shipping date is. It's very soon.
Are you guys planning? I mean, I know you can't tell us, but
where's the LV2?
Where's the LV2? Buddy,
you'll never know.
You'll never tell.
No.
You guys are greedy. They just made the LV 1.6.
I know.
Like it's not even released yet. It's still in China.
Did you follow any of the stuff from the LV build up before PBE?
I think so.
All the stuff that was happening on Facebook, and everybody kept. Yeah. I was getting tagged like 1,000 tags a day on Facebook. LV2, Jack gives the LV2. I did all those posts in like Paintball, Talk, Buy, Sell, whatever it's called.
Can I tell you something? What's next in the Speedball? Like, I don't know. I mean, these markers are light, they're efficient, they look great. They have all these awesome features. I mean, what could be next? A better bolt system, maybe? Is this something you guys?
Yeah, we're just always we're always looking at new bolt systems. So for every bolt system that makes it to market, we probably do 5 that never see the light of day.
Probably.
So yeah,
I'd like to see. Jason is asking for the LV.
I was just laughing at that.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Very serious question.
That's Jason Hansen. Yeah, you got to check out Jason Hansen's Facebook page.
Can you tell us anything about the LV5?
I sponsor him, by the way, Jason Hansen.
Oh, he's a sponsored guy. He's messing with.
Yeah, no, I sponsor his Facebook page. It's called Penis. Paintball Entertainment News.
Wow.
Oh Lord!
Insider stories. Penis for short.
Oh, and we have.
It's a very very funny Facebook page.
I guess
everybody's got to look at it.
Everybody
just take our money already.
Just Google penis.
That's what, yeah, so Google penis. Go check out Facebook page penis. Check it out. Like the penis and follow it.
Like the penis and follow it.
And don't forget to always share the penis. Just completely ruin the episode. We were doing so well.
Oh my Lord.
All about sharing, guys. So much sharing.
Oh man.
Okay.
Sorry about that. All right, Jason.
There's a lot of.
Where were we, fellas?
I don't know. I think somebody sent me a message on Instagram asking me, "Is there any LV mechanical coming soon?" Another LV.
No,
question.
you can't make it a mechanical gun. Doesn't work.
It's not doable.
Yeah, people just think you can make anything into a mechanical gun, but it doesn't work like that. So no, you can't make a mechanical LV.
Okay, I have a question. You obviously design paintball markers. What's the first step in designing a marker? Do you start? Let's say you design the bolt and then you build the frame around it. Like, how does it work?
That's it.
It really depends. So sometimes I can either come up with something in my head because I'm sat down doodling something and come up with a new bolt or layout or something that I want to do. But then I'll just go ahead, take that concept, take it to Leds and Julian, the owners of the company, and say, got this idea. What do you think about this? Does this fit into our current product range? I think it'll be cool. And they either go, yeah, sounds good. Go ahead and finalize the design, get it prototyped, and then we'll test it. And if it's any good, we'll sell it. Or they'll say, no, we don't really have a place in our lineup because you can't make infinite numbers of guns.
Yeah.
You've got to have different, levels. So, from the EMEK, we've got all the way up to CS2 Pro. We've got staggered steps, if you like, of level of guns. So if something doesn't fit into there, then we've got no use. Or you'll say you're going to retire one out there and replace it with something else. Or they'll come to me and say, it'll come the other way around and say, right, we need a gun at this price. It can't cost any more than this to manufacture. We want to be selling it at this price, and it's got to have these features.
Gotcha.
And then we sit down and between me, Steve, and Matt, we'll come up with a package and go, there you go. We'll cost it out and say that'll cost to manufacture roughly what they're looking for, and then we'll get it sampled up, get it made.
How long does it take from you starting to design a marker till you test it and you release it? Is that like a year, 7-8 months? How long does it take for you guys to start? Like, let's say the MG100, from the minute you start designing it, obviously you took a lot of stuff from the EMEK, right? So
Yes.
you did the EMEK and then you designed the EMEK to take magazines. That's what it was, right? So that whole
so we had so the way it went from that, we had the Ether 2. Then we kept the whole of the Ether 2 up and just replaced the lower with the EMEK mechanical lower. And then we went to the MG, so kept the all the mechanical parts and just changed all the shells on them.
Yeah.
So it's about, it's hard to say. MG100 was probably 2 years from start to finish.
Oh, okay. I thought it would be shorter for some reason, but
everybody, you always think it's shorter. Again, most of it comes down to the plastics. If you think about any kind of tooling you're making for any kind of composites or plastics, absolute minimum lead time is 16 weeks from ordering a tool to getting it to first sample, and then you can probably have to change it at least 3 or 4 times before you get to a finished part. And each time you change the tooling, it's another 2 to 3 weeks each time you make a change. So you can easily just blow 7-8 months just getting one tool made.
yeah.
But now, once you have the one style that you're doing, the way you want it, it's 100%.
Yeah.
If you go doing something very similar, the time's gonna be pretty much cut in half, would it not?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So for a facelift, you could do a facelift change on a model. You could probably do that in 6 months.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And that's actually getting it into production and sold.
So now, why is it, do you think some of these other companies? So why is it now? I know you can't really speak on other companies, but why is it, do you think some of these other companies are prolonging so much stuff coming out?
What do you mean? Taking so long to get stuff out?
Yeah, like you'll see some places, some companies will be talking about this is coming out, but we don't see it for a certain amount of time. What could be going on there?
Could be any number of things.
Like testing, stuff like that.
They could have. They had a great idea, and then they tell everybody they're going to make it, and then actually find out it doesn't work.
Right.
Or just run out of cash and don't have the money available to finish tooling off. Honestly, I couldn't comment. I mean, we learned a long time ago not to, to keep your powder dry and not let out too much information too soon. You have to have everything like 99.9% ready before you.
When you're ready. Yeah.
I like little things like that, like inexpensive, things that
that's
actually
cool
work. So
that loader is cool.
Loader. You want to talk us more about the pad loader?
Yeah, sure. What do you want to know?
I want to know how it works. I want to know how it works. That crazy, awesome design. First of all, the lid is really awesome. You can't break that. I like that. It's compatible with the EMEK MG100 and the Ether too, right?
Yeah, correct.
So it uses air. I'm going to try to explain it. So every time you shoot, right, a little bit of air goes up the feed neck here, and it pushes the ball. See, there you go. That's why you got to have to explain.
So in the feed tube, on the PAL feed tube, there's a hole in. You're right. There's a hole in the top of the breech, and then inside the feed tube, there's a little rod with an O-ring on the bottom of it. Each time you fire the gun, air from behind the ball, as the ball is being fired out, hits the bottom of the piston rod. That piston rod pushes up through the feed tube and hits that little blue tab that you can see on the bottom of the loader. So if you look at the bottom side of the loader, there's a little, and then when it hits that little blue tab when it hits there, it hits like a flexible shelf inside. So each time the gun fires, the little piston comes up and it pushes that, so it agitates the paintballs inside the loader.
This is $20, by the way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is
So you
$20.
can get like a decent 10 BPS feed rate out of it.
That's not bad. I've
That's
tested
good.
it with oil paint. Honestly, once you have like 5-6 balls, you can have to shake it a little bit, and it keeps.
Yeah,
working.
that's because they sit on the 5 or 6 sit on the shelf inside.
Yeah,
they don't drop down. Yeah.
And
Now-
honestly, that's one of the main things why I love the MG, because you can actually use a pad loader on the MG, which is really nice.
Yeah. It's almost as good as a cheap electronic loader.
It is, and it's even cheaper. It's
and it's lighter and it's got no batteries.
Yeah, reliable and works. That's what we're all looking for.
Yeah. So that came about. That product came about because when we launched the EMEK, the feedback we got from the fields was none of the loaders they had worked because everybody uses gravity feed loaders on the paintball fields.
Right.
But because it's got the gamma core in and it's spool valve, it shoots so smooth that there's no agitation, there's no kick on the gun at all. So the paintballs were getting stuck inside the loader. So we had to come up with a design to agitate the paintballs inside, because we can't say to a paintball field, hey, you need to buy 500 electronic loaders and put batteries in them every weekend. I came up with that design.
That lid is super. You can't break that. By the way, I put the sticker here. It doesn't come with a sticker, but this is pretty. I love this thing. What else we got? Tim, you had a question or?
No, you took care of it.
All right. I want to say thank you to Jack for really coming on the show. Short notice, my man. I really appreciate it. Before we wrap this up, we gotta say thanks to all of you guys. Thank you guys for liking and following the page. We're getting close to that 1,000. We've only been doing this for 6 months, so it's amazing feedback. We love you guys. And big shout out to the Patreon supporters, of course, Dave and Marie Pitts, owners of Commando Action Center, being a sponsor. Of course, King Deep from Sergeant Splatterfield. Thank you, sir, for your support. Massive Vajo, who loves his MG100. Age is small, literally just bought his MG100. So those two guys in the bottom actually just bought MG100. Well,
I know Matt hits me up all the time.
Matt had it for a while, so sorry. AJ just got his a couple of days ago. So
he did get his in the mail now. I know he was just waiting on it. That's the last I heard. He was just waiting on it.
He got the marker and he posted it on the MG100 owners group. I was very excited for it. So
right on.
Yeah. So Tim, you want to announce the next episode next week?
Our next week's episode will be with the Generals for our next MagFed only game, Canadian Conflict. That's what it's called, right? Canadian Conflict? No, Operation Conflict. Last year it was Canadian Conflict. This year it's Operation Conflict.
MagFed only.
We'll be having the Generals on there. Yes, we'll be talking about that and maybe see what some of their opening thoughts might be on that. Some of their pushes. I don't know. We'll have to see.
It's a big day for me. It's a big event for me because I'll be putting first strikes for the first time in those magazines and testing the MG100 with my rifled Nemesis barrel. By the way, the crack barrel. That's fine. We'll talk about it later. I'll do it. I'll
come back in. It's been great. Anytime you want me back, just let me know.
Yeah. So Jack will be on. It'll be on the same time we're doing the autococker pump episode, right?
Not that one. I'm busy that weekend.
I believe that's 2 weeks.
But we haven't announced that date. All right, guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on, guys. That's been great fun.
It's been a pleasure.
Jack, talk to you later, buddy. Tim.
Thank you very much,
brother.
See you on the front line, Tim. March 28th.
Yeah, you will. A couple of weeks, buddy.
All right, guys.
You know it.
Talk to you later.
Bye.